ul Mahabbat, the house of many hearts. A decade ago, in the heart of a small village surrounded by lush green fields, there stood a house unlike any other. It was called Bait ul Mahabbat, the house of many hearts, because it was not just a home, it was a world of love, laughter, and unity. Within its warm walls, differences melted, and relationships flourished like the ancient banyan tree that shaded its courtyard. The house belonged to four brothers, Yusuf, Ehsan, Hamid, and Karim, men bound not just by blood but by a deep, selfless love for one another. Their wives, too, shared a sisterly bond, raising their children as if they were their own. No door in the house was ever shut for anyone, no meal was ever eaten alone. Even when the house grew full of laughter and chatter, there was always space for one more. But Bait ul Mahabbat was not just a home for them, it was the heart of the extended family. Their cousins, Junaid, Fazan, and Samir, who lived in different houses in the same village, spent their days here as if it were their own home. Every afternoon, after school, they would race to the house, throwing their bags aside to play in the courtyard, where their uncles treated them no differently than their own sons. If one child got scolded by his father, he found refuge in the embrace of another uncle. If one boy struggled with studies, an elder cousin would sit with him patiently until he understood. The women of the family, too, shared an unbreakable bond. If one fell ill, the others would take turns caring for her children. If there was a wedding in the family, it was not just a celebration for one household but for the entire clan. They would cook together, sing together, and prepare for the grand event like one inseparable unit. When tough times came, their unity remained steadfast. When Ehsan's crops failed one year, Hamid and Karim worked tirelessly to support him. When Karim's wife needed medical treatment in the city, Yusuf sold a part of his land without hesitation. No one had to ask for help, it was given before the need was spoken. But as time passed, the whispers of change began creeping in. The city called with its promises of a brighter future, better education, and financial security. One by one, the younger generation left the village. Hamid was the first to move, followed by Ehsan and then Karim. The cousins, once inseparable, were now scattered across different cities, their childhood memories stored away like old books on a forgotten shelf. The phone calls became fewer, the visits rare. The love was still there, but it was buried beneath the weight of responsibilities, careers, and distances. A decade later, Bait ul Mahabbat stood in silence. The courtyard, once filled with the sound of children's laughter, now heard only the rustling of leaves. Yusuf, the last to remain, sat alone, watching the empty veranda where his brothers and cousins once sat beside him, sharing stories late into the night. The villagers still spoke of Bait ul Mahabbat with nostalgia. There was a time when this house was the heart of the village, where no one was ever alone, the elders would say. But times have changed. Brotherhood is now measured in phone calls, and love is counted in formal visits. And so, the house stood, a silent witness to a love that once thrived, a love that the modern world had left behind. Meanings and examples of the difficult words used in the story. 1. Nestled, situated in a safe or sheltered position. Example, the village was nestled between lush green hills. 2. Flourished, grew or developed in a healthy or successful way. Example, their friendship flourished over the years despite the distance. 3. Melted, disappeared or became less intense. Example, all her fears melted away when she saw her family. 4. Selfless, caring more about others than oneself. Example, a mother's love for her child is truly selfless. 5. Unbreakable, impossible to destroy or separate. Example, the bond between the two brothers was unbreakable. 6. Steadfast, firm, loyal, and unwavering. Example, despite all challenges, he remained steadfast in his beliefs. 7. Whispers of change, signs of change happening slowly. Example, the whispers of change were evident as people started moving to cities. 8. Scattered, spread across different places. Example, their family was once united, but now they are scattered across the country. 9. Stored away, kept in a place, often forgotten. Example, her childhood toys were stored away in the attic. 10. Rustling, a soft, crackling sound made by leaves or fabric. Example, the rustling of leaves in the wind was the only sound in the empty courtyard. 11. Nostalgia, a sentimental longing for the past. Example, looking at old photos filled him with nostalgia for his childhood. 12. Inseparable, always together, impossible to part. Example, the two best friends were inseparable during their school years. 13. Scolded, spoke angrily to someone for doing something wrong. Example, the teacher scolded the students for being late. 14. Tirelessly, without getting tired, with great effort. Example, the doctors worked tirelessly to save the patients. 15. Buried beneath, hidden or covered under something. Example, his emotions were buried beneath a calm exterior. 16. Witness, someone or something that sees or experiences an event. Example, the old house was a witness to many beautiful memories.